Welcome. Let's begin. Just grab your spot. Just take a moment to breathe. Settle in, wiggle your feet a little bit, roll your shoulders. Just stuff that you could do throughout the day, and right before you get into doing something, just taking a moment to work out the kinks and go ahead and settle into this moment, into this body. Quickest, most effective way to get into the moment, to get your attention focused, is to become aware of your breath in your body, and let your breath draw slower and deeper into the belly, activating focusing the mind, having our awareness on the breath, sensations in the body, brings us into the moment. So we may be fully present, available, responsive to this moment, this experience. I am here. I am here, and they are here with me. I am here in this place. I am here in this body. I am here in this heart, with this mind, in this experience. I am here in this present moment, with these intentions. And in this process and journey, every day, in every way, we are growing healthier, stronger, better, and wiser. Adjusting breath. Gather from the earth up. Calling from the sky down. Let the breath fill from the belly up. As if your hands carry the breath up the body, as if the hands press the breath out from the chest down. Squeeze into the belly, evacuate the breath. Good breath depends on a strong exhale, and let it fill. Just like a morning yawn stretch, hold the breath for a moment, feel it in the body, cleanse and release. And let's activate the hands. Chi up. Let your body a little bit, and the hands press and rub, and maybe you slow it down and keep it light and easy. You don't have to press too hard if that's not feeling right in this moment. And just opening up. It's as if you're holding a ball of light, a sphere. It's as we concentrate our electromagnetic field by placing our awareness on the hands and the sensations from the pressing and rubbing, the heat from the friction. Just bring our awareness to our subtle nature, our vital essence. Even though it's challenging to feel it, especially the more active and intense things get. That's why when we practice in class, when we have these moments of sanctuary, we practice feeling these things when it's easy, so that when things get more challenging, it's easier for us to tune into that awareness, to shift our attention to the breath, to the body, to our energy, to something greater than what we might be experiencing in the moment. Just let the hands float down and settle. Let's activate the feet. Dream walking, lifting one heel at a time, side to side. Just kind of stepping in place. Activating the soles of the feet, Yang Quan, the bubbling wells. And just imagine, even if it's just our imagination, it doesn't really matter to me if it's psychology or physics or chemistry. or if it's spiritual practice, it's all about the same to me. Just imagine that as I pump my legs and my feet and the blood circulates and my breath draws slow and deep, that I'm doing something wonderful for my body, mind. Something good starts to happen in my systems. I can imagine that I'm like a well, I'm pumping energy up through my body, through my feet. And slow it down. Hands on the hips, moving side to side, hip revolutions. Starting with a couple to see how far does my body want to go today? What feels good to me? And begin to circulate first in one direction, just opening up the hips, continuing to breathe slow and deep into the belly so that we have this continuous awareness of this lower chamber, this core, the lower dantian, this connection of the lower and upper body, this vital aspect of mobility, of ambulation, and reverse, flowing in the other direction, drawing a circle in the air with the hips, pressing back and to the side and forward, and it might be a very minimal circle. It just depends if your body's talking to you, or you might have things you're working through or building back up, strength and flexibility. So just be kind, be patient, and allow the process kind of take its own journey. And just trusting that as much as I can, move my body, sometimes working hard and also being gentle and nurturing, so that my body, mind can calibrate, can update, rejuvenate. Bring it to the center, moving the hips side to side, knee dip, hip flip. Bending one knee, the hip sinks, other hip lifts, and the leg lengthens, and then I shift. So just listen to your body. It doesn't have to be very, extreme. It could be really gentle. It could be very slow. It could be a little bit quicker, but no need to go too fast. Just find your right comfortable rhythm, range of motion. Want to kind of move up to that area of a comfortable range of movement, and sometimes pushing a little bit past, but not too hard, too fast. We want to give our body time to adjust. And go ahead and relax. Now, one hip goes forward, the other hip comes back, and then shift. Circle to the side, the back hip comes forward, the forward hip goes back, and then tracing a diagonal line through the center, drawing a figure 8 in the air with the hips. And this one especially nice and slow, nice and easy. Just continuing to activate the core and the hip joints, the hands on the hips. Notice that the rotation movement of the hips moves the spine, moves the shoulders. I don't have to try for that independently of moving my hips. I'm connected as one being, one body. And any activity in my body is unified. And then reverse the circle. There's also energy activations that take place with these kinds of exercises and movements and postures by focusing our breath, our awareness on the breath, by organizing the body to a single posture or stretches or movements. Begin to unify our experience. And as we pass through the center of this figure eight, a little ignition of energy in the sacral chakra, boosting our vitality. This infinity symbol, tracing gently with the hips, following a band of energy that flows around our waist area, waistline area, helps to organize our energy as it flows up and down the body. And bring it to the center and bend the knees, hands on the thighs. Light bend in the knees, not pressing too deep. And if you remember to, as we bend the knees and let the legs become our shock absorbers, we can let the tailbone tuck gently under like we're trying to point the tailbone towards the earth. And at the crown of the head, soft spot of baby, the golden thread lifting up, bringing nice alignment to my spine, elongating my spine. Chin is slightly tucked to achieve that in the cervical vertebrae. And then rise, riding the wave up. And ride the wave down. Nice and slow, graceful, easy. Continuing to harmonize, to balance, to pump and circulate. And the whole body move as one, becoming unified. And it's helpful to isolate certain techniques or parts or awarenesses and create a potential for development. And over time, allowing it to all blend as one. So in the beginning, we might become aware of mostly the arm movements or the legs bending and rising, and becoming aware of the sensation in the core, the belly area. Way to activate the core, as if pulling your belly button towards your spine as the tailbone tucks gently downward as we sink and the knees are bent, and then as we rise, allowing our natural spinal curve, and then sinking, squeezing gently into the belly, and feeling the breath draw slow into the belly, and becoming aware of the golden root pulling us to the earth, anchoring us. Aware of the golden thread weaving through the spine to the crown, the cosmos, lengthening our spine, lifting us up. Becoming tethered and supported between heaven and earth. Continue to breathe at your own pace or breathe with me. Exhale. Inhale, gather, ride the wave up. Feel the fullness, expansion. Exhale and ride the wave down. Sink. Release the breath and feel the emptiness. Empty out. We have to empty, become full. We have to create the space and open. Gather the new moment, the new breath, and then release it. Let it flow. Deep cleansing inhale. And cleansing exhale. Relax the breath. And if the range of movement and the level of exercise feels right, you can continue with riding the wave, or you can allow your arms to float all the way up, reaching to the sky, reaching to the heavens. Feet parallel, hip width, shoulder width apart. Pump and swing. So I'm just going to gently bend my knees and release my arms and let gravity and momentum create a swinging motion as if I'm getting ready to jump into the air. Right? As if you're on a swing. Pump and swing. My arms only get tired if I'm using my shoulder muscles and back muscles to move my arms. I'm just letting gravity drop, bend the knees, and pump it back up. It's not that there isn't any exertion of energy, but not so much in the arms. Pump and swing. And you can continue to breathe at your own pace, or you could breathe with me and just imagine as we inhale and lift that we're just whooshing all this beautiful energy up through the body, up to the hands, and then we're just whooshing it down and out. Just continually recycling and recirculating this beautiful energy in the body, breath, the blood, and begin. And relax. Once I stop pumping and swinging, send arms work their way out, nice and relaxed. Yeah. Again, twisting gently side to side, trunk twisting. Just inviting this spiraling motion in the body, the twisting, stretching of the spine, body, spine. Just pushing from one foot to the other, and letting that translate as a spiral. Spiraling up through legs, up through torso, up into the head, flowing across the shoulders and out to the arms and fingers. And as the hands make light contact with the shoulder and lower back, imagine a diagonal arc of energy, a spark, rushing through the body, activating life-giving organs and systems. And again, that can be really light and super easy and gentle. Or it can be more vigorous. And slow it down and relax. Hands out in front, or you could have them lower. I'll start lower. Wrapping the hands, bat flaps his wings, silk weaving. Starting in a palm, fingertips, fingers, pinkies open up, nice and splayed and open. And just let the spine and the legs, everything get involved with that. You can do it nice and low. Or you can lift the arms. And maybe you just do a couple and that's enough for you. Maybe you go really slow. Some movements will wrap into a tight fist, but this we're staying nice and relaxed and helping to work out the kinks, opening up the joints, tendons, and myofascial network, nerve pathways, lymphatic circulation and blood flow, and relax the arms. And the hands rest on the side of the thighs. Lift the shoulders, and then we're going to roll back. And almost like a piston, I'm going to leave my hands not pressing firmly, just connected to my side, my palms. And rolling back. Dropping the shoulders down, rolling, concaving the chest, arcing the back, and coming up and down. And maybe it's very minimal. Just find your range. What feels good to you in today's body might feel different than yesterday. And bring it to the center and then rolling back, up, and forward. Hands resting at the sides. Focusing on the breath. Good. And pumping the spine. So just in a natural stance, feet about hip width apart, hip to shoulder width, hands on the thighs. And I'm going to bend my knees and reach to my knees with my fingertips, but maybe just stay, higher up and don't go as far. Tucking the chin down and letting the tailbone roll forward. So when we're doing riding the wave and things like that, I actually just want to tilt my pelvis, adjust my tailbone until my lower back is fairly flat. It won't get completely flat. And this one I'm going to go all the way forward, really like kind of thrusting the pelvis forward, chin down, and of course only to the range that feels right to you. Tucking forward and then lifting the head and the tailbone back. Really getting a nice arc in the back, chest. Pulling the palms in towards the inner thigh area, back. Looks kind of funky, but it feels good. Maybe having your head back is too much, so you just look straight ahead, keeping the top part of your back neutral. Just do what feels right to you. And then tuck forward, pumping the spine, opening up the vertebrae, and then arcing back, flexing the spine, and forward. Only to the degree of the range that feels good to your body. And bring it back. Elbows back, shoulders drop down, the upper core. We'll talk about the lower chamber, the middle chamber, upper chamber, head and neck. We'll talk about the lower core, hips and thighs area, belly, upper core, neck, shoulders and back. And continue breathing at your own pace, or breathe with me. Exhale and arc forward. Empty the breath, squeeze it out. Fill and lift back. Hold the breath if you can. Breathe as you need to. Helper breaths are okay. Exhale forward. Inhale up and back. Exhale forward. We can also do the perineum, squeeze and release. These movements. One more time, inhale up. Exhale forward. And then bring it neutral. And relax. Looking behind. It's a great but simple exercise movement for the neck, but not so much going for our maximum twist or turn, but we're just really, again, helping to create this unity in the body, mind, so that the heart can lead the mind, and the mind can listen to the body, and the body can feel love. So we want to really, over time, get these aspects of ourselves, our heart, our emotional centers, our physicality, our vitality, our essence, our power in the lower chakras, and then our intuition, insight, intellect, our creative um, energy of the upper chambers. So this really helps to make a strong connection and balance those areas, as well as engaging, activating the parasympathetic response, the relax, restore, and rejuvenate, replenish. Bend the knees just comfortably, hands on the thighs, spiraling from the inside up. We're going to straighten the legs and turn the head, and just comfortably turning the head, not straining. Looking directly to the side if that feels best to you. If you can, look behind. Try to take both eyes and look behind. And press the palms firmly against the thighs. Might be a gentle press, might be a firm press, depending on what feels good to you. Slowly bend the knees, slowly turn the head to center while looking behind. Don't do something funky with your eyes and your head a little bit, your brain. And then release the eyes, let the head and eyes come center and relax. On the way downward, press against the thighs, and as we bend the knees, the thighs push against the arms, and we create this feedback loop, this pressure in the body. It's almost like isometric exercise. And then looking behind the other way, lengthen the legs, look behind, I'm nice and relaxed, but I will feel the tension in my eyes as I'm looking behind, strengthening the muscles that support my eye movement, bringing my behind me. Press the palms firmly against the thighs, slowly bend the knees, slowly turn the head, keep looking behind the front. And when your head's about halfway, 45 degrees, release the eyes as the head and eyes. Yeah, looking behind, up and turn, look behind, or just look to the side. That might be the place to start. If you're feeling funky, mindful of your sense of balance. Press, bend the knees, and turn the head. Keep looking behind. And when you feel like you're about halfway home, release the eyes as we bend and return to the center. And then anytime we're holding any kind of tension in between, we want to soften and relax. It's that squeeze and release. Massaging the body internally and using the body to pump blood, energy, breath. Looking behind to the other side, up and turn. Maybe looking directly to the side or looking behind if you can. Press the thighs, bend the knees, turn the head, and moving to the front, looking behind, and then release the eyes. Yeah. Adjusting breath. Exhale. Gather. And release. 2. And 3. And just take a moment to relax, to nourish, to soak, to soften. And just feeling in the body the progress so far, sensations, the subtle shifts in our awareness, our emotional states, our state of mind. We might even have shifted from hyper analytical thinking into an alpha state, a healing state, a creative, focused state. It's the gateway to sleep. It's the state that we wake up in when we aren't alarmed, when we wake up slowly. We're often still in an alpha state. When we're making music or creative, nature walks and things like that, most likely we're shifted. Our brain activity, our body physiological state has shifted into healing mode. And so maybe just for a moment, Just take some moment to let everything settle. Moving into head and body swinging. And we're going to go with a light and easy version of it. Just to get warmed up, and acclimated. Could always be done from a seated posture. And even though I'll go into a wide stance, you could also practice it in a more natural stance and just modify your range of movement. Just do what feels right to you. Adjusting breath. Once again, exhale, gather, and release. 2, 3. Exhaling and resting the hands into lotus position. Palms to the sky, index and thumbs connected. Shift to the side, inhale. Step off to the side, exhale. That might be wide enough, or go a little wider. Reach into the center, inhale up to the center. Forming a triangle, peer to the heavens. Open up, 5-pointed star. Exhale, sit lightly. Not a deep squat, relax the breath. Just a little bend in the knees so I'm not straight-legged and locked. Just a little shock absorber. Hands resting on the thighs. Head and body swinging. Only go as deep as you can, being mindful of your spine, your blood pressure, and your sense of balance. Just be mindful. Leaning the head to the side, opening up the side of the neck. Throughout the body, there's all kinds of connected tissues and nerves and nerve clusters, glands and lymph nodes, and all kinds of good stuff going on. There's also energy pathways that help to circulate and move energy through the body. So just opening up the jaw, the neck, ear, the shoulder, without strain, without force. And then lift the head up. Look to the side. We're going to keep it light and easy. We could go into a very deep squat for this one. We're just going to sit lightly, bend the knees just a little bit more, hands floating down the legs. You might get to where you can reach your knees, or you might stay higher up in the body. You might even stay this high. Only go as high as you can. Looking to the side. And then lean a little bit to the side and use your arm to support yourself and gently push out on the inside of the opposite leg, and then just gently push out on the inside of the leg you're leaning towards. So there's a version of it where we go all the way down and hug the leg. We're going to keep it light and easy, which might be even just up here for you. And then swing the head center. Use your arms, your hands to support yourself, pushing out gently on the inside of the knees. Take a moment to just kind of lengthen and straighten out your back, even though you're bent and hinged at the hips a little bit, leaning forward without the head going much past the knees at this point, unless we were further down. And then we're going to swing to the other side. I'm going to kind of straighten up my opposite arm and use my forward arm to support my body, looking down at the foot. And then use the hands to walk up the thighs, bringing the spine and back upright without straining the back. And then turn the head to the front once again. Laying the head to the other side. Just let the head naturally hang. And if you're feeling tension or pain feedback, then lift it a little bit and maybe just find that right level for you. And just sometimes the shoulder wants to creep up with it, just letting the shoulders really the upper core. So a lot of times our shoulders end up kind of outside of that. We want to let them sink into the body. And breathe belly. Lift the head upright. Let the side. Sit and bend. Let the hands float down towards the knees. And maybe you just go down an inch, and that's the deeper squat. Maybe your legs are tired and done, and you bring them in or have a seat. We sit and bend. I'm using my arms to support myself. Straighten up my opposite arm. Looking down. Back is fairly straight. And then swing center. Pushing out gently on the inside of my knees. And then swing to the other side. Now I'm going to straighten up this opposite arm and kind of feel a stretch across my lower back, up to my head. Supporting myself so I'm not straining my back. And then use your hands to walk yourself upright. Spine nice and upright, and returning to the center. Once again to the other side. Focus the breath on the belly and let the shoulders drop. Hands resting on the thighs. Lift the head just about level. Actually, lift the head level. Turn the head to the side. Sit and bend. Let your hands float down towards the knees. They don't have to go that far. If you can reach the knees, that's great. Straighten out my opposite arm. Feel a stretch across my back a little bit. And swing the head and body center. So let the knees come in. I'm going to press my knees out. I'm using my arms to support my body. This can be done from a seated position. And then swing to the other side. I'm going to straighten up that arm. Feel a stretch across my lower back. Using my arms to support my body. And then walking up the thighs. Get myself nice and upright. And then bring the head center. Last time, other side. Lay the head down, open up the side of the neck. Just allowing the shoulder to drop, to drape. Maybe I lift my head a little higher if it's pulling my shoulder along with it. Just breathe. And just noticing the difference between a sweet pain of working through something, of gaining flexibility or strength, and the ouch, that hurts, I need to stop, back it off, readjust. Lift the head. Look to the side. Sit and bend. Let the hands slide down the thighs, controlling my movement without straining my back. Leaning to one side, straighten out the arm, feel the stretch. Breathe into the belly. And then swing the head and body center, pushing out on the inside of the knees. And then swing to the other side. Straighten out the opposite arm. And then walk it up. Without straining the back, head upright, and center. Walk the feet in one at a time to natural stance or shimmy. Heels in, breath in. Toes in, breath out. Gather. And release. Third deep breath. Hands on the hips, shifting side to side, and just riding that line. So as I'm connecting through my body, shifting and moving my center of gravity, placing my center over one foot, taking the pressure off of the other, just riding right up and down my center. And shift, toe turns out, shift, toe turns in to keep the stance fairly light and tight and easy, or my heel slides back, and now I'm in a longer bow and arrow stance. And with my bow and arrow stance, not in a lunging bow, where I don't have much support to the sides, I open up so my feet are about hip width apart, one leg extended, one leg back like the brace, and at a slight diagonal. Forward leg is bent more like a bow, back leg is straighter like an arrow. If I was in a really long stance, you can see just how straight that arrow leg becomes. That's a great stretch, but difficult on mobility. So let's keep mobility focused. Just riding the stance. Feeling the power, support in the back leg pushing us forward. Feeling the strength in the body. And then turn. Shift back. Toe turns in. If you can turn your toes in like you're doing a snow plow, skiing. If not, don't worry about it. And then shift the weight, turning from the hips, from the lower core, pressing forward. And just being sure that that back foot isn't straight ahead where I'm on the side of my joint, side of the hip, knee, and ankle. I want to make sure that both of my toes are kind of pointing off to the diagonal so I could comfortably bend that back leg, got good mobility. I could go into a long stretch, but that's more difficult to move from. So I want to keep it somewhere in a range. It feels good to my body that I can move in. And then riding the stance back and keeping that nice and upright, feeling tethered. It's like stretching a string and then plucking it at the center. It holds tight at the top and bottom so the middle can move, can vibrate. And riding the stance forward. Feeling the strength, the bracing, the back leg, support, stability, the front leg. Not going past my knee past my toe. More than likely, one of the best places to have your knee directly above your ankle. And then shift. And just ride the stance and just feel that connection. The lower body carrying the upper body. All almost like holding a kite string, right? So if you just let go of the kite string, the kite flies away. So as the wind has this pressure and lifts the kite, we hold onto the kite string and we anchor it to the earth. And then that line, that string in between becomes tight, taut. You can pluck it. And that's what we want to feel in the body. As we move the body, as we turn and move from the center, that there's this taut line. Toe turns in, changing direction. If you can move into an hourglass stance, toes turned in slightly, like you're skiing like snowplow. And you can continue just with the legs or move it into the arms as well. Ebb and flow. Just feeling the connection. Seated back, gathering, and then pushing forward. Feeling all the strength from the back leg, pushing through the spine, out to the arms. And you can breathe at your own pace or breathe with me. Exhale. Breathe, gather. Cleanse, release. All the way to the fingertips. Pull the breath in, seat back. Gathering breath, gathering power in the body, and expand, release. Receding, yielding, gathering. Drawing inward, and then expand. Expressing fully, all the way to the fingertips. One more time. And then sit back, turn. And again, if your arms are tired or anything like that, you could always have your arms lower and you can push and pull just kind of right in front here. So always make it suit you, your body. And ebb and flow. Pull and push. Riding the wave up and down, and then following the pattern, the movement of the wave back and forward. If my stance feels too long, I can bring it in a little bit. Even seated in a chair and just have one leg out in front. Seated near the edge and just kind of shifting my weight a little bit on my sit bones. Moving the arms. Gathering our power, our breath. Grounding, rooting into the earth, and then pushing from that back leg. Pushing all the way out to the palms and then to the fingers. Continue to breathe at your own pace, or you could breathe with me, or you could do both. And exhale. Gather. And release. Circulate. Breathe. The body yields, the breath becomes full. Exhale. The body expands, the breath empties. Breathe. Gather yourself and express. One more time. And bring it to the center. You can walk the feet in, tighten it up a little bit, or you can stay a little wider. And as we circulate through our field, lift chi up and pour chi down. Just imagine it's happening. Whether I feel it, whether it's true or not, it doesn't matter. The body responds to the mind. The mind listens to the body. The heart supports, nourishes. If I think I am, I am. I bring my attention, my awareness to something. I focus my breath, my body, and maybe having the arms come all the way up is too much, so more like you're going out for a hug and just circulating in front. It could even be much more minimal and just really focus down here. It doesn't really matter. Just imagine this beautiful light, this energy flowing up, not just where the arms are, but front and back in all directions, pouring down through a golden funnel, pouring down through the body, permeating, cascading, seeping, bringing fresh, radiant vibrance, light, energy, brushing out tangles in our field, our personal space, our aura, our guardian field. refining and aligning, gathering. Imagine scooping the earth, all that nurturing energy. It comes up, it begins to flow and pour down into that golden funnel. It's pouring down from the heavens, from the universe, washing through the body, releasing what's no longer needed, letting go of disharmony, stagnation, blockages, anything that got stuck. So to cleanse and wash as new radiant energy flows. Exhale. Inhale, lift chi up. Exhale, pour chi down. Chi cleansing, chi washing. And now we're going to tap into the fountain below the legs and follow that up through the body, through the legs, the spine, up and out the head, coming up through that golden funnel, shooting out like a fountain, up and out in all directions, continues up to the sky, but pours down, not just where the arms are, but in all directions, recirculating into the earth, recirculating into the body, letting this earth nurturing, healing energy rise up, adding to the heavenly chi pouring down, brushing out the tangles, refining, aligning, empowering our energy field, our bubble, our personal space, our internal, external buffer. It's really all one thing, one experience, but we can bring our attention to certain aspects and focus and amplify, enhance. So I can be mindful of my inner experience and the space that surrounds my body that helps me to interact with the world in the outer space. And again, having your arms go up that high, you could always just focus it more in the front of the body. You know, all this stuff is happening anyway. It doesn't really require us, our consideration, our consciousness for it to happen. It's already happening, but we can just bring our awareness to it. Yeah. You can continue to breathe at your own pace or breathe with me. Lift chi up. Cleanse and pour chi down. Walk it back in or shimmy the feet. Heels in, breath in. Toes in, breath out. Just until you return to a natural stance. Or maybe you're ready to have a seat. We're just about done. We're just going to take a moment to soak, to nourish, moving into stillness. Just take a moment to relax. You might stay still, or you might sway and shift and move. Might end up doing a body wave or just kind of gently rock, letting the pelvis and the belly move forward and back a little bit, and let the spine and shoulders follow. Just feel into the moment, feel into the body, and just allow whatever needs to happen in this moment to achieve health and balance. Whatever sequencing of adjustments and changes in our system, to increase where there is too little, to decrease where there is too much, to reconnect and make connections that were lost, tears, cracks, filled, letting go of stagnation. And one more big deep breath. Beautiful. Namaste. She.